Good afternoon, everybody. This is Jay Ramel coming to you live. I'm here. We're here live in New York City. Just want to talk to everybody about our upcoming events coming up with our low-income families. For our low-income families, we have the ambient energy power saving program coming up. You can catch us every Tuesday night as well. But just to get right into it, we just want to talk to you a little bit about encouraging today's movers and shakers. Get your weight up. Get your weight up is a term that a lot of times we use in the street, to do better, to step your game up, to upgrade your life. A lot of times, we go to these self-help books and we go to people who are millionaires and billionaires, and those are the people we want to hear. But, you have the everyday survivor, the one that's in the street every day, the one that come from nothing and fight their way back. You notice a lot of these stories coming from boxers. If you remember, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was one of my favorites. He still is. Have a great story of success. How he came from nothing, worked his way through the ghetto, through the mean streets of Brooklyn, robbed, stole, and he became one of the greatest heavyweight fighters of all time, in my book, in my opinion. So one of the things I look at is, how do we do that? How can I do that? How can what we call ordinary people become extraordinary people? And I believe that you're already extraordinary. It's just about you making your move and doing things that's going to be extraordinary. We all have power. We all have things in our life that if we just apply ourselves, we can really make things happen. So I really would encourage everybody to step your game up. When you look at the news every day, you look at people being murdered, people being killed. You're looking at the condition of our world right now, the condition of our government. Every other week, it seems like they're shutting down, temporary or long term. This affects people in the economy. It affects people in their money. And a lot of people are saying, if I just had enough money, and I don't have enough, it's more month at the end of my money. You know what I mean? And so we always look for ways that we can increase our monetary goals. We want to find ways that we can make more money. We want to find ways that we can increase what we're doing. And so what I like to say, what I like to do is I like to think about sometime how things go when we don't have enough. What do we do? When we don't have enough, what do we do? When we looking for answers, we looking for ways to increase our life, what do we do? Now, I personally don't feel that money is the answer to all problems. I do believe that money can make you comfortable. I do believe that money answers in all places. At the same time, I do believe that our efforts, along with our mindset, has a lot to do with the way our outcome of our life is and how the outcome of our children's life will be. One of the things, I was talking with somebody the other day, he was talking about marriage and the married life and the roles that we play in the home between man and the woman. And, a lot of responsibility is on the man, because the man is considered the head. And women want a man who's mentally tough, not just physically strong, but he has to be mentally strong, because women like stability. They like security. But to step your game up, to get your weight up, what does that mean? What do you mean, Jay, when you say get your weight up? Are you talking about just money? Are you talking about me being financially successful? What is your level of success? How do you define success? And a lot of times we define success by our bank account, our careers, by the clothes we wear, the car we drive, how many women we have, and how slick we can talk. And it's defined by so many different things. But as I mature, and as we all mature, and we should mature and get older, realize that success is not always defined by monetary gain. But, when you can teach a family all that you have, and you use all your arsenal to raise a family on nothing, the struggle brings about success. And I have a saying that I always say, is that struggle creates success, pressure produces potential and power. How do we then maintain a level of success? These things are not easy to obtain. So one of the things I like to do is I like to say that, being in a motivated positive environment, being in a motivated, positive environment, surrounding ourselves with people who are motivated and who inspire us and who are positive. Waking up in the morning, the first few minutes when you get in the morning is your strongest mental point. And so I like to listen to lately, and I did this before. I stopped for a while because I was hit with some things that kind of really altered the course of my life. It actually changed my life. It changed the way my thinking process was. And that thing was the death of my mom, back in August 15th to be exact, of 2017. One day shy of her birthday, she passed from liver cancer. Even though we knew that she was sick, and the family, we all knew that she was sick, but you never get used to death. You never come to terms with death. So I lost a lot. I lost my drive. I lost my fortitude. I lost all that stuff that made me who I was and who I thought I was and who I am. I lost it because I didn't want to do anything. I went to a state of depression. But it wasn't until, I talked to my brother and I talked to God, and I prayed and I thought about all the places that I was at, having a drug addiction for so many years and being sober for so many years. And so, that brings me to my next point, that when you think about where you came from, think about where you are. So when you look back and say, wow, man, look where God has brought me from and look where I am, that causes you to get your weight up. Because no way can you stay in the same position. No way can you stay in a depressed state. When you look back and you see the hell that you've been through, how you came out of fire, when you came out of homelessness or hunger or just the loss of a job, loss of a loved one, relationship, children, and then you look back and you say, wow, but I still made it. I'm still here. I'm a survivor. That right there should cause you to get your weight up. So these are some of the things that we're talking about. Next week, I want to talk to you a little bit more. I want to go in depth, but this is like an introduction to our new show that we're going to start. We're going to rock a podcast show. I'd like to thank all my supporters, Mr. Russell Tucker out there in North Carolina. I'd like to thank Mr. Melvin Felton, Mr. Jimmy Tate, all these people in North Carolina. These are people who poured into my life and showed me some really, really, really positive things and connections. My brother Bisman, Fraser out in Jamaica, Queens, at Psycho Dojo. Just a lot of different people that has really poured into my life and showed me that it's time to get your weight up. No longer can we stay and live in the days of the past and look for a brighter future. If you want something new, you have to do something you never done before. If you want something you never had before, you have to do things you never have done before. And so now we want to do some things that we've never done before. One of those things is start speaking positive life into our life, into the lives of our youth, because they are tomorrow, they are the future. And anything that's going to come out of our future, we're going to have to invest into the future. Anything that's going to come out of the future is only going to come out what we invest. So if we don't invest anything, we can't expect anything from our youth. And so as men, I say we want to, as a mover and shaker, so the movers and shakers out there, I just want to encourage all of you guys to stay on your feet, man. Stay on your post. Don't let down. Don't give up. Don't give in. This is a fight for life. This is a long-term fight. This is not a overnight sensation. This is not a one-hitter quitter. This is a lifetime commitment that you got to make to yourself and say, this is my life, and I'm going to do everything I can in my life to do what's necessary to make my life what I want it to be. And I promise you, if you never give up, if you don't quit, you don't submit, and you don't quit, I believe in my heart that you're going to be very successful in everything you do. Again, it's been J. Romel on the J Spot. We'll be back.